Well, I think we're turning away from fossil fuels today, but no transition is clean or simple. And there are definitely different flavors of fossil fuels and the different economics where you go. While the cheapest projects in 2015 and 2016 have been renewable energy projects, there is a huge global interest led by the United States and the push into unconventional or fracked gas that has made natural gas very cheap. The environmental footprint or signature of that is something of great debate, but there are definitely places where the transition from coal or diesel to natural gas is an environmental win. But there's also places where that seeming transition to a less fossil fuel or less carbon intensive energy source going from, say, coal or diesel to natural gas is actually a step backwards. There are places where that money and that effort is far better spent on renewable energy, and there's opportunities where if you don't manage that natural gas properly, it can be worse than coal. We know already that there are places where the leakage rate of natural gas from the system is not even that high, 2.8, 3%, and in those places, on a global warming basis, those natural gas plants are actually worse than some of the fossil fuel plants they seem to be replacing. And so you have to do the math right, and as much of a climate denier as one wants to be, these are just basic facts and basic science. We know the science of global warming is very clear and very unambiguous. We also know that over the next roughly 3 decades, we need to transition out of fossil fuels almost entirely. So there are some places where the shift to natural gas can be environmentally good and can be part of a progression. But there's also places where that same amount of effort, infrastructure, financing that goes into a poor gas plant would be far better spent cost effectively, environmentally, and jobs-wise on renewables. And so it's not a simple yes or no switch. You go from a fossil fuel dominated world to a renewables dominated world. But we're at a point where if you really take the climate science seriously, there are places where even installing gas today just does not make sense compared to the renewable energy alternatives.